Yo, we're at day 30, bro. 30 days, waking up, getting just a little teeny tiny bit better every day, even though I woke up a little bit late this morning. I think I've got something. No, I thought I had something in my beard. But yeah, I think I'm going to run this for at least 100 days, see how much better I can be already just by committing to a morning process. I'm already getting home from all the things that I have to do during my day. I'm getting home earlier only because I'm starting to do those things earlier. And I hate to just reiterate the point over and over again, but this has nothing to do with some ridiculous wake up call or some 3:30 a.m. roll out of bed, read something positive, hit a workout, kill a healthy breakfast. All I'm trying to do is maximize my time. That's it. I've never, ever, ever been a morning person. I remember going on vacation when I was a little kid, going to the beach for like a week or two. And my dad, he owned his own business. He was a 9 to 5 kind of a guy. But when we would go on vacation and he had opportunity to sleep, he would probably go to bed at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and sleep until almost lunchtime. Like the routine was he would get up about lunchtime and come down to the pool and eat lunch with us. Then he'd go back upstairs, take a nap, and then wait. And we'd always eat a really late dinner, like an 8 or a 9 o'clock dinner. Of course, he would kill that. He wasn't exactly the healthiest kind of guy. Um, but that was his routine, and that was probably where naturally he felt best. And naturally, I feel best that way too. The only problem with is the rest of the world doesn't adapt. So if you want to get up and actually make something of yourself and become something, you're going to have to do difficult things. And I mean, this really isn't even that difficult. I'm fortunate enough where I work later in the day, so I can sleep in almost as late as I want to. But the earlier I get up, the more time I have to myself, the more time I have to develop myself, all of those types of things. So this is what this is all about. Morning routine is based on three things every single day. When we wake up, we're chronically dehydrated. Like right now, I'm really craving my water. I didn't even fill this thing up all the way to the top, but yeah, it's a microplastic filled water bottle. So what? Get over it. Instead of an electrolyte pack like the LMNTs, I use the pink Himalayan salt, about a quarter tablespoon. I'm gonna dump him right in. After we hydrate, we're going right into like a quick little workout, not for building muscle, not for doing anything other than raising blood oxidation levels because they're low. We don't have a lot of oxygen in our blood only because we've been asleep, and we have to reintroduce the appropriate amount of oxygen through some deep breathing. And of course, we're outside, so we're going to get some vitamin D production from the sunlight. And the sunlight, again, it signals your body to wake up. It tells it it's time to go. Okay, I'm thirsty. Let's go. I might have to start drinking more than just 16 ounces. After I finished this today, I could still tell I was really, really, really thirsty. So I actually went back and filled my water bottle up again and drank a whole nother one. The salt definitely does make you crave more water, but the salt is also what's going to help you keep the water in your body, after you drink it. And you need the salt and you need the water for a performance enhancer, especially, if you're going to go to the gym and expect to get any kind of pump later, or even just stay decently hydrated throughout your day. So right into some burpees. I don't think I did I did some push-ups at the end as well, just to change it up a little bit. Again, I'm not trying to do anything crazy with these. Eventually, I do want to work up to doing maybe 50 of these every morning. But for now, like I said, we're just going after some elevated blood oxidation levels. Ooh, had to pause it and catch my breath. Man, blood flow, blood in general is so important. And I heard somebody say the other day, the pump is the cure. They were talking about when you get in a negative mind state, when you have a low vibrational frequency, that all you have to do is some physical activity to raise your internal vibration. And this raise of an internal vibration, it comes about because of increased blood flow. Even when you get like an injury or something. Now, I mean, modern science, modern health, it's all taught us that we need to do something to increase blood flow in the area. Blood flow brings healing. It brings the nutrients into the area that's messed up. Even from a religious point of view, Christians believe Jesus died on the cross. Uh, his blood is what is actually uh, the blood that he shed on the cross is the cure. It is the lacking that you have is fulfilled uh, by the bloodshed of Jesus on the cross. So I'm not trying to get off on religious stuff. I'm just saying that the idea of blood and blood being life and blood being a solution to the problem, it goes a lot deeper than just, getting a pump in the gym and feeling good. You understand that blood has a purpose and it goes, much deeper than we even realize sometimes. But that's another thing too. My video yesterday that I did, it was another video. It wasn't the morning routine or getting better every morning video. It was, I wanted to talk about why, if you're a religious type of a person, and that's how I grew up in like a strict fundamentalist household. The household, my actual nuclear family was great. It was the church community we were involved in that was just so jacked up. But there were people within the church community, and then all the people outside of the church community, we refer to as the people of the world, the worldly people. And it was so interesting because it was always the worldly people that had all of this success, that were just killing it in life, crushing it. You'd scratch your head, but we're not a worldly person. We've got God on our side. I think having God on your side might be like one of the laziest things that you could do or even think. Because a lot of times, if we think that we're, aligned with God, we don't have to do anything because we're aligned with God. But the problem is our identity. And people of the world, these people who don't give a damn about religion or God or anything like that, you know, they're not trying to people please other people within their church or within their religious community. So they're free from that stigma. So they don't have to pretend to be something that they're not. What this allows them to do, it allows their thoughts, their words, and their actions to be in harmony. And that is a powerful, powerful formula. It's called conscious congruency. I've talked about it a bunch. But anytime you've got a disconnect, maybe you're saying something that you don't feel, or you're doing something that doesn't match up the words that you speak. We live in a state of cognitive dissonance, which just means there's an imbalance in our outputs. Our mind is telling us one thing, or we think we are something, but we're telling the people we're something else. This is really easy to do inside of like a religious environment because you don't want to get in trouble. If you listen to a song or something that you like, but somebody else thinks it's a sin or it's wrong, you might change up the way you interact around this person. You might just flat out lie to them. And there's cognitive dissonance all over the place in these religious communities because nobody understands their identity, their root. If you're truly who you are, then your words and your actions will flow from a true source of identity. But nobody is really truly that person. I mean, some people are. There are some genuine people within these groups, no doubt. But I would say most, the vast majority, are not genuine at all. They're trying to people please and convince through their actions and their words, trying to convince other people of who they say they are. But who they say they are, they don't even like. They don't even want to be that person. They're just caught up. And God forbid if you're born into an environment like this. Oh, man. Whew. As you can tell, I've got a little bit of trauma coming out of that. But what I don't want to say I've devoted my life to it, but a big portion of my life is just that first part of identity. Who it is that I am, who it is I want to be, who it is I am now, who it is I want to be 10 years from now. And psychologists will call it your actual self, the self you are now, and your potential self, future self in the future. And then of course, we have to do things each and every day to close the gap between where we're at currently and where we want to go. And that's called the margin of despair. And that's where so many people, so many hopes and dreams just go there and die. Because a lot of people, they start a process to get better, to fulfill their potential, to reach the possibilities they have within their mind, their mental capabilities. But the process isn't consistent, or it might be wrong, or they might have something to come up, and I don't know. But so many people just drown in this margin of despair instead of coming close to actualizing the person that they're supposed to be, because that's the whole point. Once you become this person, or at least you get on a good path of becoming this person, then you have to share that process with the world. You have to, I mean, somebody said the game is sold, not told, and I understand what they're saying, but there's a lot of information that we can share with other people just in our day to day. Make a stupid YouTube video or share with something with someone you can tell obviously is hurting. But we have to give ourselves freely to the rest of the world. Heal yourself, heal the world. I didn't come up with that, somebody else did, but it does make a lot of sense. But it always starts with us, our identity, what we think in our mind. As we think, so we are. Our thoughts need to be able to be transmuted into words, and our words eventually have to evolve into a series of actions. And these actions, this is what is going to get us closer to who it is that we're actually supposed to be, and be doing the things we're supposed to be doing. That's why being uh, learning who you are, establishing a strong sense of identity is so important. I was listening to this thing yesterday about how our outward appearance really is a direct reflection of who we are inside. And that's an area in life I need to do a whole lot better in. I mean, I'm kind of just a dirty hippie, got my hair long, my beard long. I could do with a trim, but I have to deal with the fact that I consider myself to be a dirty hippie, that's a direct reflection of who I am up here. So if you want to change who you are on the outside, a lot of times, you can easily invest in upgrading your appearance. Another thing you can do is go about changing from within first, and then have the outward change reflect the inward change. But a lot of times, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, people get an outward change like that and it makes them feel better, and it puts them in a better frame of mind, a higher vibrational frequency, because what you frequently see, that's your frequency. So if you're frequently seeing a better, more attractive version of yourself, then that will no doubt cause your internal vibration to rise. So just something to kind of think about. Even your room, like your most intimate areas, your home, how you keep these things is a direct reflection of your mental state. So we got to keep things like that in mind. But also too, let's remember that having a strong sense of identity, understanding who we are, is key, paramount, fundamental to having words and actions that follow. These words and actions that follow should do nothing except get our actual self closer to the goals that you and I both know. We both know deep down within our hearts that are there waiting for us.